Good morning, Zio here, and today we're talking about the DMCA and Twitch. We're going to be doing things a little bit differently today, so this video might be a little longer than normal. As the title suggests, we are reacting to a reaction about the Twitch DMCAs. Yeah, that sounds about right. Anyway, grab yourself some coffee, sit back, relax, and let's get into it, shall we? And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, go ahead and do so now. At the end of it, like it if you like it, dislike it if you dislike it, you know, all that good jazz, and share it about, trying to build, a channel here and all. Anyway, point is, share it, subscribe, like it, all that good stuff, or dislike it if you just hate me. I mean, that's fair enough too. But yeah, today we're talking about Twitch. I did record another video before this talking about the Google Stadia guy. So that's either tomorrow or the day before this video, because I'm not 100% sure when these things are going to go up this week. It's going to be another busy week for me, of course. So yeah. Anyway, we're talking about the Digital Millennium Copyright Act of, what was it, 1998? Yeah. Anyway, I'm pretty sure that's what it was. Twitch is a fireball right now. Everybody is understandably upset. They're not sure what to do, what's going on, all this other stuff with these DMCAs smacking them. But over here on the YouTube side of things, we've been talking about it for quite some time. I know I myself have talked about it in various formats, whether it's been Square Enix or somebody else doing things, taking down stuff. There was a guy who lost his entire channel due to Square Enix coming through out of nowhere and just DMCAing everything that he did, whether they were guides, gameplay, whatever, of, I think it was Dragon Quest, if I remember correctly. I could be wrong. At about the same time, they were taking down people for playing Final Fantasy VII Remake because they didn't want anybody to see the ending to the remake, because I guess it's controversial or something. I still haven't seen it because I haven't had a chance to play it, because I'm going to play it eventually when I get it on PC, of course. So with this video, normally I would be reading a bunch of stuff, quoting some articles, giving my take. But today, I thought I'd do something different. Today, we are going to be looking at Asmongold. This is a creator who I don't know a whole lot about, so I'm not going to sit here and try and pretend to know about this guy and put words or anything in their mouth or anything like this. But it's a name I've heard a lot about, right? As we all know, I've been playing WoW since vanilla. I've been around the block a few good times with World of Warcraft, and this is a name that I've heard over the past several years of people like, did you see Asmongold's latest video? Did you watch Asmongold stream this, that, and the other? And I'm like, no, I'm sorry, I don't know who that is. And we know I don't normally watch a whole lot of streams, especially on Twitch anyway. If it's on the YouTubes, I'll watch it, but I keep seeing these videos recommended to me, and I figured, why not? Let's give it a shot. And the first one I checked out happens to be this one right here. Delete Everything, Asmongold reacts to Twitch DMCA Bloodbath, right? It's a nice title, by the way. Anyway, I watched it, and I figured, why not? Let's sort of react to the react of a thing and sort of bounce back and forth on that instead of doing what I normally do. This isn't something I normally do. I think the last time I did this was with the BBC or something, BNC, whatever they're called, CBB, I have no idea. Anyway, that Canadian broadcasting network. Canadian, no, I'm sorry, European, gosh, wow, I can't think. Anyway, when it came to Dungeons and Dragons, right? So, coffee. This is going to be a long one. We are going to bounce around, by the way. If you want full context of everything that's going on, link is in the description down below. So I have notes off to the side here of what we're going to be talking about. Look at this, boom, some time notes that are not actually in time format because, yeah, I couldn't be bothered to reach over to shift hit a key. Anyway, so yeah, that's what we're going to do. We're going to listen to a little bit. We're going to talk about it, right? We're just going to fill in some gaps, maybe give some takes about it, because I thought this might be fun, or more fun to do. And we're like 5 or so minutes into this, and I haven't even gotten that far. So let's do this, shall we?
Like Blizzard can DMCA me. Like the people that made the Skyrim soundtrack can DMCA me. Every single bit of content that you watch on Twitch is DMCA-able. Basically, I mean, like besides like the Austin show or something like that, that's like completely like non-gaming content.
Yeah, I'm not really sure why I put that in there. But anyway, he is right. Everything is DMCA-able, right? We've gotten to this space where our laws just have not kept up with everything that's going on. And if you want a really, really good video to go watch, here's one right here. It will be down in the description down below, from Lawful Masses with Leonard French, where he goes through this sort of DMCA with Twitch. So yeah, if you want to get a lawyer's perspective on it, because I am not a lawyer, that's the one to go and look at. But yeah, you know, everything is DMCA-able. We've gotten to this point where, you know, me doing this right now, this over here, if Asmongold wanted to, he can DMCA me right this second. If you see this for some reason, please don't DMCA me, please. Anyway, I am following the law as best as I can, because there are things that, you know, protect you among things like commentary, criticism, things like that, which is what I'm trying to add to this as my own commentary, right? You're not watching this video to watch Asmongold's video. You're watching this video to watch my take on Asmongold's video. That's the difference there. If you want to go watch his video, you're going to have to go and watch his full video, because we're about 3 minutes in and you've already missed the first part of this video, and you're going to miss some more because we're going to skip ahead. But yeah, so you know, everything is in a sense DMCA-able, from music to video games, TV shows and movies, and things sort of lay in this gray area like video games. You know, with video games, we got somewhat of a symbiotic relationship between, say, streamers, let's players, and the video game industry. And, you know, there are some publishers and companies out there who just don't get onto that bandwagon, like Nintendo had for the longest time, where they forced you into this program if you were going to do a Nintendo product. And then you have, like, Square Enix or whoever going, you know, we don't want you to show the ending to this, so guess what? You can't show it or we're going to strike you down. But, you know, when it really comes down to brass tacks, I guess you can say, if you're playing the game and you're adding something to the game, like your commentary and other stuff, I think you have a really good chance, if you were to somehow make it to court, have the money to make it that far, get in front of a jury or a judge or whatnot, and have a good lawyer to argue the case that, yes, indeed, this is the ending to Final Fantasy VII Remake, but the fact that my client is adding his commentary, talking about this, that, and the other, adding these elements into the thing, it is no longer, you know, a violation. It's not a violation of copyright protections, but then, again, who's got the money to actually fight that kind of thing? We're talking about an overseas company at that point, a Japanese versus a, say, if you live in the US or England or Britain or Canada or something like that. You know, you're dealing with overseas and a US law, essentially, that you're having to fight this case, and we're talking about lots and lots of money. Companies like Square and Blizzard and Activision and EA have the money that they can throw at these things until they go away, and they can drag it out as long as they need to, whether it's 3 or 4 or 5 years to 20 years down the road, until you can't fight it anymore. And that's where the law, I think, is really, really broken in a lot of these cases.
Everything can be DMCA. Twitch needs to solve this. And if they don't solve it, their website's going to die.
That I kind of disagree with. Kind of. Twitch is solving it, by the way. Let's see. This was October 20th. So, anyway, at the time of this recording, Twitch is working on solving this. YouTube has already been through this thing, right? This is why people on YouTube were talking about this when it comes to Twitch, because Twitch was catching up to YouTube in a way. When you go down and you look at streams, which company or which website produces the most streams? It's Twitch, followed by YouTube, followed by Facebook Gaming, followed by Mixer, if I remember correctly. Or maybe, yeah, or maybe it was Mixer, then Facebook Gaming. Anyway, Facebook Gaming have a bigger part of the marketplace than I actually thought they would. I was surprised when we talked about the downfall of Mixer and the mixing of Facebook and Mixer. But, you know, Mixer, of course, is a moot point considering they don't exist anymore. They now are part of Facebook Gaming, so those Mixers either went back to Twitch, they went to YouTube, or they went over to Facebook Gaming and added to that pool. But anyway, when it comes to video sharing and stuff, YouTube is the king of that world, right? The king or queen of that world. When it comes down to it, they're the biggest platform, and YouTube already went through this whole DMCA thing multiple times, right? And Twitch, we saw that coming too, because Twitch is starting to get a rise, which means mainstream media is looking into it. Game journalists might see it as a threat, especially if you've got people saying things they don't like, and especially if they say things that they disagree with. Because we see that one on the YouTubes all the time, where they'll write hit pieces among multiple people. You can look at Felix, what is that? PewDiePie. There we go. The whole PewDiePie thing. PewDiePie is another one of those people I never actually watched for the longest times. I still don't watch him. The only time I watched him was when those hit pieces came out. Then I had to go and look and go, okay, so is he actually, you know, making fun of Hitler, or is he just that white supremacist that the you know, journalists are making him out to be, and all this other stuff? So then I had to go watch the things to see the jokes where he's making fun of Hitler, you know, and they're blowing it out of proportion, and then they cut together this little thing in an attempt to try and smear him. And even then, when you take a look at the cut video that they used to try and smear him, you can tell they're jokes. I mean, when you're taking the piss out of the guy that you're pretending to be it's a joke, right? You know, it's not like you're saying yay go Nazis or anything weird like that. But yeah, I mean, it was just a ticking time bomb, I guess you can say, that we've been talking about for quite some time over here on the YouTubes, where, you know, we knew this was coming over on Twitch. So, you know, and it feels like anyone who wasn't paying attention might be completely surprised by this thing over there on Twitch, but other people who Twitch and YouTube probably not so much when it came down, when the hammers are coming down.
So they sent me an email. What does it say?
But this here is going to be going now through that email, which we're not going to go through. You can go ahead and take a look at this, but you know, essentially Twitch is giving out one warning to everybody. They've taken down things and stuff like that. But yeah, there's quite a long email. I would say go take a look at the actual video to hear it and read it, and yeah. So let's look at this next part real quick, shall we?
Other than that, I mean, this is really, really bad. This is bad for a lot of content creators, absolutely. Like, I know that there's probably like plenty of streamers out there who are probably like really worried about this. And the fact is, like, it's been like this for so long. I wonder what's going to happen whenever somebody who's like a popular streamer, who's probably going to keep playing the music. Like, realistically, they're probably going to keep playing the music. And if that's the case, like, what happens whenever, you know, fill in the blank 20K Andy plays the music and they get banned?
To answer that question, absolutely nothing. No, seriously, just think about it. Nothing's going to happen. You've had, who was it? Ninja is supposed to be Twitch's biggest streamer, right? Or one of the biggest streamers. He left the platform. He went to Mixer, and I guess now he's back. But you know, there's going to be news about it. People are going to talk about it. Sure, we're going to talk about it for a good week or two, depending on who it is. You know, if it's somebody super huge like Ninja, Dr. Disrespect, which, again, that's another thing to look at. They canceled Dr. Disrespect. I've still never seen a thing of his, but they straight up canceled the guy. Had like $1 million or so contract, or not $1 million. Was it $1 million? Maybe not, but a very, very large contract with this guy, and they straight up nuked him out of nowhere, taking everybody by surprise, and has been the talk of the town for a good month or so at this point in time. you know, it's finally dying down, but, you know, it still appears into the gaming news every so often because he's done a thing or said something, and you've got the whole idea of Twitch getting mad at people and threatening to ban people if Dr. Disrespect appears in their stream through normal matchmaking, trying to cite that they are giving a platform to a person who has been banned from it, and they're doing a ban evasion as a result. I believe that did happen to one person, I think, or maybe it was talking about the possibility because they got a warning or something because they didn't know, and it was a video I wanted to do and never got around to it, so we'll talk about it right this second. But I mean, Twitch is expecting people to just know anyone and everyone who's ever been banned off of Twitch. Like, you've got to have a spreadsheet over here saying this person's been banned, these are all the names they use in every single game that they ever play, these are the games they play. If they show up in matchmaking, you need to back out immediately and matchmake a different game. You know, that sort of thing. That's a bit on the ridiculous side, Twitch. That's never going to happen. But yeah, absolutely nothing's going to happen. It will be talk of the town for a little bit, and then it will die down. That's literally all that's going to happen when it comes to that.
That's bad. That's really bad.
Let's see. What's the next part? 12 something, right?
The fact is, here's really what the problem is. Is that the problem is that these kinds of things worked really well 20 years ago. Or they worked a lot better, at least. They worked much better. But now, they don't work well at all because people are creating content in different ways. People are doing things in completely different ways. So I think that they need to be updated. And I don't know why they haven't been, honestly. It's archaic. Yeah, this is like I think the DMCA, Digital Millennium Copyright Act, wasn't that written in 1998?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure too. I can't really keep remembering whether or not it is, but I'm pretty almost positive. I was thinking it was like 89 for whatever reason too.
But correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that it was written in 1998. Yes. Okay, so in 1998, we didn't even have internet porn. Think about...
All right, Asmon. I hate to disagree with you on this one, but we absolutely had internet porn in 98. I'm pretty sure I have a floppy somewhere with some pictures. We'll just leave it at that. But yeah, we used dial-up to watch porn. It was a thing. You know, it took a while to load. There were like little clips that took like an hour to buffer before we could actually watch it for like 5 seconds. And then we took 5 minutes for pixels to load down the screen. So yeah, porn was a thing.
Think about how ancient that is.
I know that's a small thing to go with, but yeah, I just thought I'd add that.
Like, no internet porn. It's a completely different universe. It's a totally fucking different universe. Yes, we did. 1998? I don't remember it in 98, man. I would have remembered it. I guess I might have been a little bit young then. But regardless, like, that was like so long ago. Like, you didn't have, there was no WoW. Like, there was nothing like that. Like, the game, like, there's none of this that we have now.
But yeah, I mean, that's going back to the whole, the laws need to change, right? The law was written in a time when things were a bit different, especially with, say, licensing agreements and other stuff. And he goes into a lot of that as well, so you should probably go check that out in that portion that I skipped. Oh gosh, I got the hiccups. Oh, I'm gonna die. Anyway, too much talking. But yeah, he definitely goes into that with different, like a sync license and other stuff. That's really interesting to go ahead and listen to. But yeah, a lot of these laws and stuff were created in a time when a lot of this stuff doesn't happen. And unfortunately, our government moves at slower than a snail's pace. You want to get something done, we have to get people who are, say, younger, for one, into these offices who actually understand things like the interwebs, understand how cell phones work, PCs work, Macs, whatever, you know, understands how a lot of this stuff works, streaming, you know, video sharing and all this other stuff, who can go in and actually do something about these laws, because these laws were written at a time where a lot of this stuff didn't exist. We didn't have multiplayer like this. We had multiplayer, yeah, but you also, it was all pure couch co-op. So, you know, having something like Smash Brothers or Time Splitters or GoldenEye and things like that, those were all things that happened. They existed, and we played with people, but we didn't have, you know, online multiplayer. You couldn't just sit at your system and go to matchmaking and get 5 other people to play with. You know, things like this, these systems have advanced so much and the law does not keep up because, you know, it takes time for one, and they just don't care. You know, these people just aren't really that worried about it. It doesn't affect them anyway, kind of deal. So let's see. Let's move on. Let's see. Oh yeah, actually, I think somebody else mentioned a floppy disk too. Yeah, let's see. 1647. And this is already a long video, and we're not going beat by beat either.
Positive. I don't think this is a good thing at all. Because here's the thing: what if streamers just don't comply with the rules? Like, what happens then? Does Twitch just ban all of them? Like, what happens then? Like, do they just kill their own website? Because that could happen. And that's definitely on the table. Like, that could 100% happen.
Now, this is one of those things. You know, it could happen, but Twitch isn't going to. Twitch is killing their site other ways, and banning people isn't one of them. Like we said earlier with the whole Ninja thing and Dr. Disrespect, Ninja left the platform willingly, didn't kill Twitch. That was Mixer's idea, to bring all those people from Twitch over to Mixer, which would then boost Mixer and bring Twitch really, really far down in the rankings. But that didn't happen. Ninja never attained even a fraction of his audience over on Mixer like he did over at Twitch. You know, and with Dr. Disrespect, that was a very lucrative deal, or should have been a very lucrative deal for both parties, and they severed that contract for whatever reason, because as far as I'm aware of this, me recording this, there's still no reason to why Dr. Disrespect was canned. You know, he was sent packing. But yeah, all that's what's going to happen is if everyone continues to violate the rule, right? It's not a rule. First off, we have to keep this in mind that this is a law. The DMCA is a law. It's not a rule that YouTube imposes or Twitch imposes. It's a law. And as long as they comply with said law, Twitch will be fine. Which means if somebody goes and says, all right, this is our stuff, take it down. If they take it down, they've complied with the law. So they'll be fine on that. If that means they have to crack a few eggs to do so, then so be it. So what would really wind up happening is if everybody kept playing the music and kept streaming, Twitch would find the biggest one and get rid of them, more than likely. Whoever they can go ahead and rightly justify, if, you know, they can't just do it straight up that way and go, well, this guy, we don't exactly like everything that they say, or girl, let's get rid of them. Sure, it's going to be big news for a few weeks, which then more people are going to be eyes on us, you know, bad press, that sort of thing, but we'll survive. And then everybody else who's smaller, like say myself, looking at that and goes, oh, well, they just canceled Timmy Two Toes for playing music. Yeah, I'm no longer doing that again. And then the smaller guys all fall in line. You're going to have to, in order to actually do that, you would have to get every single streamer to keep doing it, even in the face of being banned. And even after someone gets banned, they would still have to do that. But then Twitch themselves will be in real danger, not because they're going to boot everyone from the platform or anything, but they're going to have legal repercussions to deal with, and they don't want that. So they will ban people until everybody complies.
They get sued? I don't know if you can sue the individual streamers. I think maybe you could, but like it probably wouldn't be like cost effective. I don't really know. Like obviously that might be possible, but it seems like something that would be unlikely, especially with like much smaller streamers that, you know, they can't really get anything out of. So it would ultimately become Twitch's responsibility.
And there's another thing right there. It is Twitch's responsibility. Like already what happens is somebody says, hey, this is infringing on our copyright. We're submitting a DMCA claim. Take it down. Twitch then takes it down. Over on the YouTube side, there's a system in place that is, let's just say, really bad. It needs fixing majorly because anybody can take anything down. We saw this with Alex Maurer, who was running around DMCAing anybody who was playing a particular game because he or she decided that because she had beef with the publisher, that she was just going to take everything down, or he, gosh, I can't remember where they transitioned to. Alex decided that they were going to be taking everything down that played that game because they, what was it, they did music in it or something, and they had beef with the publisher or developer, and then they reached out to the YouTubers and stuff and said, hey, can you help me spread the word of my issues here, because I guess they didn't want to take it legally or something like that, and wanted to put pressure on the company, so wanted everybody to make a stink about it by talking about it like, oh my gosh, did you hear about this company not paying Alex Maurer and all this other stuff? And when everybody told Alex to pound sand, you know, we're not interested in that kind of stuff, Alex went around DMCAing everything. Alex didn't have to prove that they actually owned the copyright. They didn't have to prove anything. And in turn, in order to fight this, you can send a counter notice, but that requires you to put in all your personal information, where Alex doesn't have to put in a single bit of personal information for you. And then what it happens at that point is either A, they can sue you using your personal information and start this in the round of legally, you know, into the, put it into the court, essentially. So yeah, when it comes to Twitch, it'd be a similar thing probably when they decide to set up a system, and that's where things need to change. Like if you're going to submit a DMCA, I think there should be some onus on you to properly explain that, or properly, you know, submit something that says you absolutely positively own this copyright, right? So not anybody can do it, because we've seen that also happen in other parts where people have DMCA'd a video because they didn't like what the person for whatever reason, just so they could get their information to dox them, which also has happened in the past. Because then when they counterclaim whatever fake company that they're pretending to be a part of, or actual company they're pretending to be a part of, you know, to get the copyright released, they have to provide their personal information, from actual names to addresses and things like that, in order for that process to work, which is why it's fundamentally broken one-sided, because at the same time, the way the law is written, if somebody says, hey, this video here infringes on my infringes on my copyright, and submits a straight up DMCA regardless of who's doing it, the site then has to pull it down, which of course goes back into the whole, you know, we need to rewrite the laws on how this works, and we need to rewrite the function or the systems of how creators are allowed to handle this, or give them some more power to properly handle this, where somebody says, hey, this is infringing on my right, and then, you know, Twitch or YouTube goes and says, okay, here's what we need from you to prove that it infringes on your rights. And then they have to submit the proper paperwork and stuff to actually prove that they own the content that they're trying to take down off the site. And then, you know, during that process, say YouTube can go ahead and say, okay, hey, creator, this thing has been claimed by so-and-so. Jimmy Tutos claims that this belongs to him, that he owns the copyright. And we are currently waiting for the proper information, the proper paperwork or whatnot. So we're going to hide this for like the next 5 days until that information is submitted. And then we'll let you know where to go to from there. And then in 5 days, they'll be like, okay, the paperwork was submitted. You're now going to have to, we're going to have to take it down. If you want to dispute this, you'll have to take it up in court with Timmy Tutos, or Timmy Tutos did not, you know, provide the proper paperwork. Therefore, we're putting the video back up, and they are not allowed to make another claim on it, that sort of thing, because they did not follow the law of proper, you know, procedures or whatever.
It's bad. I'll say that for sure. It's really bad. Yeah, I mean, fuck, man. I upload copyrighted content, you ban simple. Well, here's the problem though, is that WoW is copyrighted content. Like everything that you listen to, everything you see on the screen is copyrighted content. Like this is not as simple of a solution as you might think. Like, I understand, like, there's a lot of people that are probably, like, you know, not really, you know, kind of like simple-minded people that just think, like, oh, well, just don't do X and then it won't happen. But you don't really understand the extent of X. Like, this is much more. It's much more than music. Like, if it was just music, then that would be okay.
Yeah, I guess that's the end of the timestamps I took note of. But, yeah, I mean, it's pretty much as simple as that. Anything and everything pretty much could be subject to copyright claims. There are things in the law that protect people from doing things, or allowing people to do things like making changes and stuff. Like, for instance, this commentary. I'm commentating over Asmongold's video. It's a fraction of his video. It's not the whole thing. You want the full context, you've got to go to his. In my opinion, this is covered under fair use. Asmongold, of course, is commentating while playing this game. You know, he's practically commentating the entire time that he's playing this game. A good, you know, 90, 95, 99% of it is him talking to people that is engaging with him and stuff like that, while also playing this game, which is, you know, commentary and transformative to the game itself. It's not purely just the game. You know, his screen's a bit on the cluttered side. You can't really see everything in the world. You've got the text box up there in the top corner. You got his camera down in the bottom left. You know, you've got damage meter, threat meters, and other things cluttering up the screen as well. You know, people are there to watch him do the raid. What was it? They're still in AQ, right? Anyway, you know, watching him run AQ with, you know, the guild or whatever, and listening to him talking about different things and stuff, and that would be considered transformative. If Blizzard wanted to come at him and say, you know, you're infringing on our copyright for showing this gameplay, he can say, okay, sure, why not? Let's take it to court. And I have a good feeling that, you know, if he wanted to fight that battle, he could probably win it. And that's where a lot of the issues do come into a lot of this stuff these days, is, you know, you get the copyright claim from Square, which is why I try to stay away from anything that is Square footage. I also stay away from that would be anime footage, because that tends to get hit. If you do Toei Tecmo, I think, if it's a video game of theirs, because that's got me dinged a few times for copyright claims. Not straight up DMCAs, but just copyright, hey, we're going to take all your revenue, not that I was making any or anything from it, just because you showed 30 seconds of this trailer and talked about it while doing so. You know, that sort of thing. But yeah, dang it, I lost my thought. Anyway, yeah, I guess that's it. I lost my thought. I'm done. Brain's fried. Anyway, this was fun. This was definitely different. This isn't what I normally do. I would say go ahead and take a look down in the description, watch this video, since I'm here, by the way, because I do actually have decided that I like Asmongold. I've seen the one video, right, and I've decided that I actually like Asmongold, so I think I'm going to actually subscribe and watch more and go through that backlog, since I haven't actually seen anything else. Of course, that looks like that'd be fun to watch. Why I Betrayed My WoW Guild. Huh. Anyway, yeah, so that's all I got. Let me know what you think down in the comments below, and I will talk to you later. See ya. Hey, thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave a comment, smash that like button, and always subscribe for more. And of course, there are other videos floating around somewhere on the screen, so click one of those and see if you can find something that suits your fancy. Till then, I'll see you later. Bye.